يقول الإمام الطحاوي والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. يقول الإمام الطحاوي ولا يثبت قدم الإسلام إلا على ظهر التسليم والاستسلام. Imam al-Tahawi rahmatullah alayhi says that if you want to gain firmness onto your deen, onto your Iman, onto Islam, onto your faith, onto your belief, then it will be achieved only and only onto the reality of submission. فَمَنْ رَامَ إِلْمَ مَا حُذِرَ عَلَيْهِ وَلَمْ يَقْنَعْ بِالتَّسْلِيمِ فَهْمُهُ حَجَبَهُ مَرَامَهُ عَنْ خَالِصِ التَّوْحِيدِ وَصَافِي الْمَعْرِفَةِ وَصَحِيحِ الْإِيمَانِ. And whoever will not stay away from that territory from which he is being prohibited, and whoever will not have contentment onto this submission, then he will deprive himself from the purity of Tawheed and from the pure ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and from the reality of Iman, from the correct Iman. فَيَتَذَبْذَبُ بَيْنَ الْكُفْرِ وَالْإِيمَانِ. He will remain doubtful between kufr and Iman. وَالتَّكْذِيبِ وَالْإِقْرَارِ وَالْإِنْكَارِ مَوْسُوسًا تَائِهًا. And he will sometime reject and sometime accept. He will sometime deny, and he will remain full of doubts. زَائِغًا شَاكًّا لَا مُؤْمِنًا مُصَدِّقًا وَلَا جَاحِدًا مُكَذِّبًا. He will remain doubting. He will remain with not firmness of Iman, with not firmness of confirming deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not totally rejecting. وَلَا يَصِحُّ الْإِيمَانُ بِالرُّؤْيَةِ لِأَهْلِ دَارِ السَّلَامِ لِمَنْ اعْتَبَرَهَا مِنْهُمْ بِوَهْمٍ أو تأولها بفهم إذا كان تأويل الرؤية وتأويل كل معنى يضاف إلى الربوبية ترك التأويل ولزوم التسليم وعليه دين المرسلين وشرائع النبيين. Imam al-Tahawi rahmatullah alayhi said people of Jannat, when they will enter into Jannat, they will have ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in this world, we cannot describe, we cannot define, we cannot imagine how it will take place. If you try to explain according to your logic, and if you try to interpret according to those meanings which are not suitable for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Iman will not be correct. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding. That makhluk, we are human. In this world, we cannot do without space and time. In this world, we cannot understand, we cannot do anything without space and time. How we are going to understand that world which has no connection with space and time? Very simple, very simple. Another thing, when we go through Quran and ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us such aqidah, especially this aqidah of sighting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us those thoughts, that type of reflection, that type of contemplation, that it leads us into the increased shauq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ru'yat. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from those thoughts, that type of thinking which can lead us into that debate which is more harmful than beneficial. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are 3 paragraphs about the ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in a very simple manner, let us try to understand that. Every ayat you read or everything of Jannat you come across from Quran and Hadith Sharif, or about the ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about the qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us such food of thought, that food of thought makes you more and more stronger. In what? Into the shock of Allah's mulaqat, Allah's meeting, Allah's sighting. There will be no veil between ourselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How it will happen? Only there we will experience. Only there we will experience. That's why, whenever we go through this Aqidah of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah Ruyat, we always quote that small sentence of Sayyiduna Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala. He used to say, Al-ijzu an idrakihi huwa al-idraku, wal-khawdhu fi kunhihi huwa al-ishraku. That, humanity, they remain ajiz, unable. We go through Quran and Sunnah, we understand Quran and Sunnah according to correct interpretation, and at the same time, to discover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is beyond our ability. That is beyond our power. That is beyond our strength. That is our knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our, if someone wants to know how do you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will say immediately that Allah cannot be comprehended. Allah in His reality cannot be totally discovered. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be imagined. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be described. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be defined. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot be expressed by any example. Laysa kamithlihi shay. Nothing is similar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is what Quran says. That is what our Aqidah should become. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala, Sayyiduna Abu, he is Siddiq. Just to explain, I gave this example before also, that our Sheikh Shah Hakim Muhammad Akhtar Sahib rahmatullah alayh, he was told that, your Sheikh Hazrat Maulana Abdul Ghani Phulpuri rahmatullah alayh, who he said one day his Sheikh Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi rahmatullah alayh received letter, and that letter was there, and he read that letter, and in that letter he was writing that, Hazrat, I feel that I am walking onto the land of Jannat, not onto the land of dunya. I am feeling as if I am walking into the land of akhirat, not into the land of this dunya. That's how I am feeling. So as soon as he read that letter, he said, this person, he is the Siddiq of our time. I'm trying to explain that, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under this Aqidah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us those pure thoughts, that pure anticipation, that it must become food for our shauq to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from those thoughts and those contemplations which can become harmful into the shauq of ours to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very simple, This is very simple. And if you don't understand this theologically, when some days ago that one young man, he was asking some question, and I said this, that we human in this world, we cannot do without space and time. Space and time is must for our world, for this physical world. And that world which is going to come, which is free from space and time, how can you comprehend? Because you are needy, you are symbol of needy, of space and time. How can you understand that world which is free from the space and time? Especially when it comes to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it comes to the ru'yat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it comes to the meeting of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you understand this, then you will understand this, that any thought which is becoming food in your iman. That's why, Imam al-Tahawi said, وَلَا يَسِحُ الْإِيمَانِ وَلَا يَسِحُ الْإِيمَانِ. He said, your iman will not be correct. When you will go into that direction of thinking, which creates doubts in you, which create hesitation in you, which creates if and but in you. Instead of that, you go into that direction that, it gives you more purity. It makes, that fire of zeal to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it becomes intensified. That direction's thought will nurture your iman. It will nurture your aqidah. So every moment, this person's letter, when it was read by his sheikh, his mentor, as soon as he read this, that I am in this world, but I feel as if I am walking onto the land of Jannah. I am not walking onto the land of this dunya. So his sheikh said that this man is the Siddiq of our time. And greatest Siddiq of all times, what he says, al-ijzu an idrakihi huwa al-idraku. To discover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all anbiya, all malaika alayhimu salatu wassalam, all ulul azmi minar rusul, they come together, whether in this world or whether into Jannah. Total discovery of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is beyond ability of the mankind, beyond ability of the whole universe. It is beyond the ability of the whole creation. That is our knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is how we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we are ajiz. And wal khawdhu fi kunhihi huwa al-ishraku. And if anyone digs into the reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, digs into that territory for which he does not have ability, then that is shirk. That is shirk. Very simple. Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala, all these 3 paragraphs, what Imam al-Tahawi rahmatullah alayhi wants to say, he said it in 2 sentences. Al-ijzu an idrakihi huwa al-idraku wal khawdhu fi kunhihi huwa al-ishraku. Our inability to discover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is our knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wal khawdhu fi kunhihi huwa al-ishraku. And to be drowned, to dig out the realities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is shirk. That will harm you more than benefit you. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ramadan is coming. What we'll do in Ramadan? Every day you will break your fast. Every moment of Ramadan, or every moment on this planet, on this earth, when you feed yourself into this aqidah, that your shauq increases. You are anticipating. You can't wait. You are looking forward to. Sometime, you cry. Sometime your heart is tossing and turning. Sometime you are talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the tongue of your heart. Whatever, in that direction, whatever pure thinking and contemplation you will have, that is the sign of good iman. That is the sign of good iman. And on the other side, like scientific people, everything you bring onto the table of examination, that's how you want to try to bring this aqidah onto the table of examination. You will harm your iman, yourself, your amal, and your dunya and akhirat more than you will do benefit to yourself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam al-Tahawi rahmatullah alayh, he has brought these 3 paragraphs, and in all these 3 paragraphs he is trying to say that how our meeting will take place. Only that excitement will take place there. How it will take place, only you will come to know that in that world. Because you will be also Jannati there. You will not be same human of this world. You will be in that divine world. You will be in that spiritual world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you so many extra abilities. So what is going to happen there? You cannot give any particular expression or definition or description in this world. You will say that how it will happen, only we will come to know that. If you think in that direction, then you will grow in your iman, in your aqidah. And if you take other direction, that no, you start bringing into the logical platform, and unless and until it does not make sense to me logically, then I'm not going to go ahead, then that direction is going to harm you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not given you that capacity, that ability. that strength. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding. So remember these two sentences, everybody will remember. Al-ijzu an idrakihi huwa al-idraku. Our inability to discover Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is our discovery about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If someone wants to say, what I know, what is my discovery about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then I will say in a very simple manner that Allah cannot be discovered. I am ajiz. All Anbiya come together, they are ajiz. All Malaika, they are ajiz. They are totally unable. That is our discovery about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wal khawdhu fi kunhihi huwa al-ishraku. And to be drowned, to dig out the reality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is shirk. That is shirk. Allah is not like makhluk. Allah is not, Allah cannot be compared with makhluk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya awwal al-awwalin, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-matin, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, ya dhal tawl, ya dhal jalali wal ikram. La ilaha illa ant. زهر اللاجئين وجار المستجيرين ومأمن الخائفين يا مأمن الخائفين إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا. فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فاقبضنا غير مفتونين غير خزايا ولا ندام ولا مفتونين. اللهم ارزقنا حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك. اللهم إنا نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك وغضبك وعقابك والنار. اللهم اجعلنا من التوابين واجعلنا من المتطهرين المتطهرين واجعلنا من عبادك المخلصين المخلصين واجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون واجعلنا من أوليائك الصديقين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمته.